Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe and like. And please visit us at barrykibrick.com, where you'll see all the ways that you can become a patron of our mission and help us continue to build a community of seekers who quest for knowledge, information, and most importantly, wisdom. Diamond Dallas Page is known worldwide as one of the greatest wrestling champions to ever enter the ring. But after breaking his back during a match, he had to rediscover himself. Welcome, I'm Barry Kibrick, and not only will you meet the wrestler, but one of the best fitness gurus and motivators of our time. With his book, Positively Unstoppable, we'll discuss how his philosophy, along with his new form of DDP yoga, is transforming lives around the globe.
Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick is made possible in part by Patreon. Patreon helps creators build and run membership businesses, from podcasters to writers, musicians, artists, and more, with tools that allow their fans to become patrons. More information is available at patreon.com. And Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick is also made possible by the following contributors. A complete list of funders is available at barrykibrick.com.
Mr. Page, Diamond Dallas, I cannot tell you. You can't get the smile off of my face or the crew's. We've all been fans for years. Welcome to Between the Lines, my friend.
Never knew you were a Jersey boy, brother. But when you opened your mouth, I somehow knew.
Well, we were joking before, but our schools, if we were in football at the time together, we would have been playing each other at least for 4 years.
Well,
but
it's the Jersey Shore.
It
the Jersey
is.
Shore is a great place for a kid to grow up.
It really was, and I gotta though. I'm almost speechless. As I said, we've been fans with my kids. We had to buy every pay-per-view and everything. And as I joke, though, what was funny was when my manager actually called his son in New Zealand and said, you know, we're having Diamond Dallas Page. When I kept telling everybody, the world wrestling champion, I said, yes, yes. And he said, no. He said, you mean the yoga guy? And I said, oh my God, that is it. And as I said, and I tried to, it's not yoga, it's DDPY. That's what it is.
Yes, Barry, you've done your research, man. DDP Yoga, the company will always be called that, but I'm branding it now DDPY. Why? Because I want people to stop calling it just yoga. I mean, even on the book, right before, I'd made this, everyone's like, D, I know you're gonna change branding like this. At this time, I go, no, it's ready, it has to go now. This book is gonna change lives. Positively Unstoppable, The Art of Owning It, is gonna change lives for decades and decades. So that will be the brand. And again, you gotta remember there's so many different reasons why I did things, but for me, the guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga the first 42 years of my life, it was one of those deals where when I got done with wrestling, I could have very easily stepped into the Namaste world and really dug it, because I love all types of yoga today. I appreciate them all. But it wouldn't have been true to me, because I would have been looking, when I blew my back out, and they said my wrestling career was over, I would have been looking for someone like me. I wouldn't have been looking for someone that, was all of the spiritualness that is yoga. And not there's anything wrong with that. Because I really appreciate it. It just wasn't me. So when I started on this journey, and I have to digress a sec, just because some people have no idea who I am.
Wait, there's nobody that doesn't know who you are. I'm sorry, but go ahead, digress, go right ahead.
I didn't start wrestling until I was 35 years old. My career didn't take off until I was 40. That was in 1996. 1997 and 98, I was on top of the world. The WWF and the WCW, we owned the top 1, 2, 3, and 4 spots on cable television. Every Monday night, every Thursday night, and a pay-per-view once a month. I was wrestling 270 plus days a year, plus doing the Tonight Show, Hollywood Squares, whatever little movies part I could do. So I was running at a fever pitch Just signed a multi-million-dollar deal, 3-year multi-million-dollar year, bang. What I did was I ruptured my L4 and L5. God gave us this unbelievable spine. And in between it, he or she put these amazing discs in there, like shock absorbers. Well, if you were to rupture a disc, it would be like doing this to a donut. Yeah. Well, now there's no disc there. So L4 and L5, bone on bone. I had 3 spine specialists tell me I was never going to be able to wrestle again. Without question, in my business career, the worst day of my life. Because I'd worked so hard. Everyone said I was crazy. It would never be able to be done. There's no way you're ever going to make it. But I did. And again, being positively unstoppable. The art of owning it. And I explain it through the book. Not just, but it's all about my adversities. Not like, ooh, look, I did this, I did that, I did this. No. It's like, here it looks like the worst thing that ever happened to me. Turns out to be the best.
Well, it's very funny because this book is almost a book on philosophy as much as it is on showing people the initial steps of yoga, or the DDY yoga for DDPY.
Well, maybe hit you with a diamond cutter right here on your own show.
Oh, we're going to do that. I want people to see what that looks like, by the way. Well, not the diamond cutter where you're going to throw me over your shoulder, but the diamond cutter that you use in the move. But I want to talk about some of the philosophy as we go into this, because it really, it's inspirational. This one thing that you really want everyone to know, and when you watch even the videos, you overstate it because you believe that they got to hear it clearly, that this is your life, nobody else. You've got to own it.
And again, making it their own. Like if you're doing my workouts, and again, it's just one chapter where I even talk about that. I'm constantly saying, make the DDPY your own. Like, my program in the physical world and my program in my mental world meet you where you are, because every single person in this room is completely different. Everyone's got different aches and pains and hang-ups and baggage stuck to them. How do you start to eliminate the baggage and start to own it? And a lot of people, will always say to me, so wow, the art of owning it. What is it? It's whatever you want it to be. It can be your health. It could be your lifestyle. It could be the way you eat. It could be your relationships with your kids, your parents, your significant other. It can be the relationship to the dream.
But here's the thing that you let us know, and I want to read your words exactly. And in fact, it's kind of funny too. Viewers won't know this until they read the book. You didn't even know how to read until your 30s. I'm not embarrassing you because I know you put it in the book.
No.
But yet, you always, and by the way, that's changed. You taught yourself to read.
Right.
And the way you taught yourself to read is the way you even want us to teach ourselves how to do the Diamond Dallas Page yoga, because it is, you do it at your own pace. And you decided to read 1 page at a time, and for a year. It's an amazing story. People are going to love it. But I think these words are something that was so profound, I need to read them exactly. I believe that walls exist to separate those who want something badly enough from those who do not.
I don't believe God puts up walls in front of us to hold us back. I believe they're put up in front of us to let us know how bad we really want it. Because every wall that's ever came up in front of me, when you get to the end of it and you find a way either around it or over it, because if you're going to try to go through the wall, a lot of times that ain't happening. Like, okay, step back. How can I get around that wall? Now, that wall might be 4,200 miles that way and 3,800 miles that way. Are you willing to put the work in? And in the book, I'm constantly telling you, no magic pill. You got to put the work in. If you're not willing to put the work in, go stick it in the corner of that table that you have that's not level. Let it at least be working for you there. It's, to me, especially, young generation, they've got this whole, YouTube and internet and just all of a sudden influencers and, they're seeing people become really fast like celebrities. And then it makes more people want to be rich and famous. And I'm okay with that. It's okay to want to be rich and famous. You just can't want it first. And it comes back to the walls.
In fact, you say life is 10% about what happens to you and 90% about how you react to it. And that is what you call positively unstoppable. It's that, not the 10% that happens to you, it's the 90% that you're going to react to. That's what's going to make you unstoppable.
I mean, everybody who's watching the show today, they all know. It's no different from anyone in our personal lives, our professional lives. We're constantly getting hit one adversity after another, most of which we have no control over. But what do we really control? And this is what Positively Unstoppable is really all about. Getting you to reboot your brain. What do you control? Did this adversity just happen to you? Number one, you control the way you react. Oh, you made me do that. Throwing a flag. No. You let that affect you like that. You control the way you react, how you adapt, how you take action, and how you breathe.
Oh, breathing, Dallas.
Everything.
I started doing the breathing alone in this book, and it makes such a difference.
If someone says to me, what's the most important thing that you've learned? I'll be 63 April 5th. Somewhere, I don't know the exact day, I know when I started, but somewhere around my 43rd birthday, I started to really learn how to breathe. And by the time I was 48, I owned it. And when you can breathe, like before I walk out, onto a set, right here, when we were just sitting around, I was so chill, because first of all, you make everybody feel like, you've been Goombas forever,
Thank you, Dallas, thank you.
But even if I'm going into a scenario with who I know is those DJs that are just trying to get you to react, and I won't do their shows where they can hang up on me and say stupid stuff, but I'll go into their set and I'll talk to them. And if they get out of line, I'll get up and get right in their face. But the whole time before I do anything, before that they ever put the cameras on, I'm breathing in and out for anywhere from 10 to 20. Yes. And it starts with 3. 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out.
That's what I started with just when I started reading the book. That's what I started with. I'm up to now 10 seconds
awesome.
In and out 3 times. It's just that alone makes all the difference. But there's something you said before that I want to even add, something that you add in your own book, and that was you were talking about, the things that happen to you as if they're external forces that happen to you and you've got to deal with it. But the one thing you really hit home is that, and this is part of a theme that I also believe, and I hit it home as often as I can, is we do more damage to ourselves through, and you, one of the terms I think I loved you use is the emotional gravity.
Right.
We create our own gravity oftentimes more than anyone else outside of us does. And that's the human condition, but it's the one thing that we must do our best to shorten at least those time spans. You even admit, you say, you're going to have downs, you're going to be sinking as low as you can get, no matter what you do. And Dallas, you even admit you have times, no matter how much you know, that you can go down there, but don't stay there. You've got to get out of there as fast as possible.
If you look at the biggest names in the world, and I got to say the biggest name is a buddy of mine. Not a close buddy of mine, but he's one of us, The Rock. He's the biggest star in the world, and he's one of us. But The Rock, Obama, Trump, Oprah, Tom Brady, LeBron James, you name them, they go down. Everyone goes down. The beauty is that they figured out not how to stay there. It's when you wallow it, then you start to really hold on to being the victim. Like you got to let go. What owning it is all about is changing the inner dialogue.
And the thing that you hit home so perfectly here that I want my viewers to really let this sink in is it's just perfect as it is. your history is not your destiny. And that doesn't matter how old you are. You could, and you really show us even 70, 80, it doesn't matter how old you are. Whatever was in the past does not mean that's going to shape your future. You can stop now, change, do. I'm not saying, and you don't say, that it's easy.
No,
it's very
it's
simple
not
to
easy.
say. It's not easy, though. But that's the proof that your history does not have to be your destiny. So if you're watching this now, and no matter what your age is, if you've lived life a certain way and you are ready to change, Positively Unstoppable is a sort of guide to get people to make that change.
And it was Jake Roberts who came up with that quote. That's a crazy story. This wasn't in the movie, The Resurrection.
Jake the Snake, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Jake
the
the
movie,
Snake.
The Resurrection. If you've not seen the documentary, The Resurrection of Jake the Snake, it's on Amazon Prime and Hulu and, of course, iTunes. Jake, addict, drugs, coke, crack, you name it, coming into my house. And he had carried all that negative energy for so long, and he wouldn't change the story. He kept talking about it, but he couldn't drink. He couldn't do any of that stuff in my house. So one night, he's starting to break. He's starting to do a little better, but he comes downstairs. And this is not in the movie. And he hits my marble counter. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm a loser, Dallas. I'm a loser. And I'm just looking at him. I go, come here, bro. And I grab him and I put him in the mirror in the bathroom. I said, what do you see? He goes, a loser. I go, stop saying that. I go, look at that shirt that you have on. And it was a skeleton. It was a red flag. And it was waving the red flag. And on the flag it said, wasted youth. I said, why do you wear that garbage? I said, every time you wear that shirt, you tell yourself you wasted your youth, you wasted your prime. It can be changed, the story can be different. I said, you should be wearing shirts that say positive energy, unstoppable. You should be wearing shirts like that. And later on that afternoon, he came down with that quote. And he said, D, look at this. And he had drawn it. My history is not my destiny. And that was the first t-shirt that we put out there for Jake. And it was super, super, super powerful. Super powerful.
It is, but I have to do this with you though, Diamond, because before we go, I just want to show people, because I did this when I was reading your book and I said, my gosh, I got to show this to people. Let's do it right on the air. Let's show them the one move they can do in their chair, sitting in their chair, because it's so powerful when they feel this. I know that they'll get really into this. I just really do, because I did right away. The minute I read it and I actually implemented it, right away you can see the dynamic tension that you're talking about.
Well, let's just put your feet flat. Let's start it all the way through here. And what I want you to do, I want you to reach down. We're going to come to that. I want you to grip your toes in your shoes.
Got it.
Grip your toes right in your shoes. I want you to grab the insides of your knees here. And I want you to try to pull your knees out, but I want you to pull your knees in. So now you're gripping your toes. Now all the insides of your legs are activating. Now take a deep breath and count back with me. 3, 2, 1. Now bring your hands on the outside. Push them out. I want you to push them in and push them out. Deep breath. Count it back. 3, 2, 1. Now reach out and grab the ball. Open those fingers wide. Pull that. That's it. Wide, wide, wide. Like you're palming a basketball. Now as you inhale, create your own resistance. Take it up in a touchdown. Higher, Barry. Higher, higher. Exhale, bring them down. Turn them around. Push your thumb and your index fingers against tight. Pull your pinkies wide. Inhale, take it back. Arms out to a T, clench your fists. Hulk it up, Barry, yeah! Now open your fingers wide. Tension. Shoulders back, chest out. At ease. As opposed to doing this for hours.
And that's what I did. I was typing my notes, came up to that part, and I said, I'm going to try it. What the heck? And sure enough, you can feel your muscles everywhere bulging, your leg everywhere. You can feel those muscles right away.
That's all a part of our DDPY rebuild series. Like you can't get out of bed? I got 3 workouts for you in bed. I call them bed flex. Got 8 workouts using a chair, in a chair. Then I've got 8 workouts holding onto a chair, and then it goes to beginner, intermediate, advanced, and psycho, extreme, crazy stuff.
And the whole thing is not about working out harder, it's about working out smarter.
Smarter. And we're meeting you where you are, because it's going to be a completely different place if you put the work in. It'll be a completely different place 3 weeks from now, and then 3 more, and then 3 more, and then all of a sudden what felt like oh my God, I can't do this at all. You're like, this is nothing. Movement.
In fact, you even say that when you're done with the workout, you almost should feel refreshed
Yes.
rather than depleted.
I don't want you to walk out of there going, man, he kicked my ass. That's you. Because I suggest to everyone, and you know you have a Bluetooth heart monitor, which will come right hooked up to our app, so you know it's when you're not in the zone, or over the zone. You don't want to work too hard, especially as you're getting into your 40s, 50s, and so on.
You also say these words, depending on where you are in your life, there is always a path you can take. That is also important. So it doesn't matter where you're at, there's a path. There's a path. You must know there is a path. It may not even be clear at first. You may have to do all sorts of jerry-rigging and zigzagging to find it.
Right.
But there is a path.
And there's actually a couple of them. Where do you want to go? Like, once you recline, they say that sitting is the new smoking. Because you sit in a chair and you watch, which I love too, you're watching Netflix and you're binge watching, but you got to get out of the chair. You got to get out, you got to have goals. You have to have, even walking, anything to get you movement. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. And so there is always a path of somewhere to go. Again, I started in the nightclub business when I was 23. Started as a wrestler when I was 31 as a manager, 35 as a wrestler. At 42, I started my acting career, which I'm constantly on that path. And I got a series coming out on Netflix later on this year.
You'll come back and we'll promote it?
Yes, we'll definitely do it. Definitely do it. And but becoming a fitness, and I wouldn't let anybody call me a yoga guru, because I'm not. Like, yoga gurus, that it's all about alignment. It's a different animal. I'm more of a fitness guru that gets your body in movement, but not just in movement. I don't want you just stretching. I want you stretching and flexing the muscles, the ligaments, and the tendons, so that when you take that slip, you don't tear your ACL out. So, again, I'm not preparing for 65. That's going to be here tomorrow. I'm preparing for 75, 85, 95, and yes, 105. Because as I get older, I know there's certain things you have to change. Now, there's other things you have to bring in. Like right now, my next book I'm writing is The Secrets of Youth and how to hold back the hands of time. And it's not just what I'm doing. I'm going to be talking to a lot of different people about it, because it's a whole world out there. And it has to do from eating what food you eat to how you exercise and keeping everything on a minimal joint impact, which is what DDPY is all about. Just giving people that can understand that flexibility is youth, not just in the body, but in the mind.
My Jersey boy, I cannot thank you enough for gracing this set and giving us your wisdom.
Hey,
thank
baby.
you, Mr. DDP.
Appreciate
I love
you having me in, bro.
My pleasure, and thank you guys for joining us. There is so much more about DDPY or DDP Yoga, Dallas's philosophy, and even about what you put in your body. But we really are out of time. And even Dallas, I may even have to cut the exercise out. I'm not sure. So besides getting his book and his DDP Yoga system, I want you to feel free to ask me anything about this episode or anything else that's on your mind. And to do so, all you have to do is email me at barry@barrykibrick.com. And I promise to personally reply to every email and do my best to answer any questions you may have or comments you may have. But before we do go, I'd like to leave you with these few more words from Positively Unstoppable. If it were all so easy, then it wouldn't be worth it. Embrace change. Own it. Know that being outside your comfort zone and being okay with that is what being positively unstoppable is all about. Don't let anyone tell you what you cannot do, especially you. I'm Barry Kibrick. Between the comfort zone and the change you want to make is where the unstoppable resides. And don't let anyone, especially you, tell you otherwise. Thank you, DDP.
Oh, bro, good stuff. A great ending on that, too.
To become part of the Between the Lines family, go to barrykibrick.com. There you can join our book club, participate in Q&As, catch past episodes, listen to Barry's podcasts, read his blog, and experience exclusive online features, all at barrykibrick.com. Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick is made possible in part by Patreon. Patreon helps creators build and run membership businesses, from podcasters to writers, musicians, artists, and more, with tools that allow their fans to become patrons. More information is available at patreon.com. And Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick is also made possible by the following contributors. A complete list of funders is available at barrykibrick.com.